At this point, Triple H's career, it was starting to wind down. He wasn't wrestling full time anymore. He was taking on more of an executive front office role. This started to happen in mid 2010 after WrestleMania 26 with his feud with Sheamus, which he did defeat Sheamus. He had another match with Sheamus at Extreme Rules pay-per-view, which he lost to Sheamus after Sheamus attacked him before the match started. He defeated him, and he wrote him off TV so he could start his duties, his front office role, and also nurse injuries that he had as well. But anyway, after he was written off TV, he started his front office position with the WWE as a senior advisor for the company. He had his own office at the Stamford, Connecticut location at WWE headquarters. So, while he was doing his front office duties, you would not see him on television for a while. You would hear about him doing his front office position and other things as such. But he did that start, like I said, in mid-2010, and he did return on TV at the February 21st, 2011 Raw episode, where Undertaker also made his return, who was also at that time a part-time talent. He interrupted Undertaker's promo. This was around WrestleMania season. And when he did come to the ring, he interrupted Undertaker, and there were no words said. It was just, they looked at each other. They both lit the WrestleMania sign. Undertaker did his gesture. Triple H did his gesture. And that was it. Everyone knew that the match was on for WrestleMania 27. Now, later on, that match was announced as a no-holds-barred match. And it was a very intense match between those two. Triple H, he gave Undertaker a lot of chair shots, a lot of hard hits. He even spine busted him on the announce table, the Spanish announce table. So I saw a lot of offense with Triple H in this match. Not so much from Undertaker. Now, it got so even intense that Triple H did the iconic move that Undertaker does, which is the Tombstone Piledriver. He mocked his signifying sign for the Tombstone Piledriver, and he performed a move on him. And he got a near fall for that. But Undertaker kicked out. Later on in the match, Undertaker, he did a submission move on Triple H, which is the Gulagla, if I said it right, the Gulagla. And Triple H tapped out. He lost the match and kept Undertaker's streak at the time intact. He was still undefeated, which he was 18-0. So, however, he may not have won the match, but he left on his own 2 feet. Undertaker was carried out of the building. And that was the first time Undertaker has ever been carried out the building after a WrestleMania match. So Undertaker wasn't too pleased with that result. You know, he won the match. So once again, Triple H was off TV for a while. Undertaker was also off TV for a while. Triple H, however, he returned at the July 18th Raw edition, in which his storyline took over as the COO, which is his position that he was more doing on TV. He was relieving Vince McMahon of his duties as Vince McMahon attempted to fire John Cena for not retaining his championship at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view the night before against the iconic classic match against CM Punk in Chicago, which CM Punk said he would not only win the WWE Championship, but he will also leave the company and leave with the championship, which CM Punk did, which was a great match. Before Vince McMahon could terminate John Cena, Triple H came out for the first time he was seen since WrestleMania 27. He told Vince that he was voted out of the board of directors, that he was out of control. His decisions as of late were inexcusable, and they voted him out. So Triple H took over, and Vince McMahon was out. So he was the CEO of the company. Crazy how things are today. Similarity. It's like that for a while recently. But anyway, since he took over, he was involved in the CM Punk John Cena feud storyline. He brought CM Punk back to WWE, signed to a new contract, and CM Punk came back. But since CM Punk was gone for a while in storyline, they had no WWE champion. They had a new tournament to crown a new champion. John Cena defeated Rey Mysterio for that championship after Rey Mysterio won the tournament. He faced off against John Cena in a match. John Cena defeated him. John Cena was the new WWE champion. Now, since CM Punk was still champion, he never lost. For the first time in history, we had two WWE champions. And Triple H was not going to strip either man of championship, as they had their own rightful claim to be champion. And they was going to decide that at SummerSlam of a match. And whoever won was going to be the undisputed WWE champion. And Triple H himself will be the special guest referee. So, since they had their rematch after Money in the Bank, which is this time both of them were champion, CM Punk defeated John Cena, but John Cena's leg was under the rope, and Triple H did not see it. He pinned him 1, 2, 3. CM Punk is the undisputed WWE champion. But CM Punk wouldn't enjoy that victory for long, because he was first attacked by Kevin Nash, who ain't made appearances at the Royal Rumble of this year in 2011. So he attacked CM Punk, powerbomb in the middle of the ring, and he left. Triple H was shocked, didn't know what Kevin Nash was doing there, and Kevin Nash left. Afterwards, the Money in the Bank winner, Alberto Del Rio, cashed in his Money in the Bank contract, cashed it on CM Punk, and won the WWE Championship. So, not only was that match done controversial with CM Punk and Cena, also had the Money Bank cash in after an attack from Kevin Nash. Now, CM Punk wasn't upset that Kevin Nash attacked him. He wasn't upset that the Money Bank was cashing on him since he previously had the Money Bank himself twice. He just mad that Kevin Nash attacked him. He wanted answers. And Kevin Nash said that Triple H was behind it, and Triple H denied it. But CM Punk won the match with Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash won a match with him as well. They were supposed to have a match at the Night of Champions pay-per-view, but it didn't go down. In real life, they said Kevin Nash wasn't cleared of a physical. He wasn't able to go. So, storyline, Triple H had to book himself against CM Punk. After CM Punk made assaults to Triple H about his wife, took personal shots at him, they had the match instead. Triple H versus CM Punk. Now, they had a match. A lot of interferences from Kevin Nash, The Miz, R-Truth, John Laurinaitis. They attacked both men during the match, but Triple H ended up getting a W over CM Punk, which he didn't need. As I stated before, he's part-time talent. Didn't need that win at all. Still didn't like that to this day. I believe it's because he personally didn't like Punk in real life, and his creative control said, "I'm gonna get that W anyway." But other than that, he did get a win. Later on, had a tag team with Punk against Miz and R-Truth. And he even had Miz and R-Truth arrested after they interfered in matches. They interfered in a WWE Championship match, a triple threat against Alberto Rio, CM Punk, and Cena. So, after all that settled down, he still had some beef on with Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash attacked Triple H at a Raw. He attacked him with a sledgehammer, took Triple H out. Now, at the TLC pay-per-view, which is in December of that year, they had a sledgehammer match. That match was horrible. Kevin Nash, he shouldn't even wrestle that match. He could barely move. It's like he was handicapped in the match. But anyway, Triple H defeated him in the match, 1, 2, 3, and it turned out to be, to this day, Kevin Nash's very last professional wrestling match. So, since he defeated Kevin Nash and ended that feud, he did not show up again until the January 30th edition of Raw. And this year, we're in 2012 now. And he came out to the ring to give John Laurinaitis a performance review because Triple H, he was still COO. He was relieved of his duties because the match he had with CM Punk, his job was on line against CM Punk, which I didn't understand. If CM Punk had defeated him, he'd be out COO. And Triple H won. Still was CEO, but relieved his duties, which storyline didn't make any sense. But anyway, since he was still COO, he came to give him a performance review, and Undertaker came out. And Undertaker wanted a match against Triple H for this year's WrestleMania, which is WrestleMania 28. As I stated earlier, Undertaker was not happy of how the outcome turned out for their previous match at WrestleMania 27. Triple H did not want the match. He said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to ruin neither man's legacy. I don't need to face you. But then Undertaker took personal shots at Triple H, saying that he always lived in the shadow of Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels was always better than him. And that ticked Triple H off. And Triple H said, you know what? It's on. We're going to have a match. But this wasn't just any old match. The match was going to be at the Hell in a Cell, and also a special guest referee. And yes, special guest referee was Shawn Michaels. So this match was better, in my opinion, than a previous match at WrestleMania 27. Great iconic match. It was a great storyline because it was not only telling the story of Triple H and Undertaker for 2 years of WrestleMania, it was also telling the story of how Shawn Michaels was retired by Undertaker in the previous 2 years of their WrestleMania matches. So it all connected. So it was a great storyline, great story, and great match. They had a back and forth in the match. Undertaker had more offense this time. He wasn't slaughtered like he was the previous year before. Shawn Michaels even got a super kick in on the Undertaker after Undertaker tried to choke him out after he was going to call the match because Undertaker was getting slaughtered at one point in the match by Triple H. But at the end, Undertaker defeated Triple H. He was still undefeated. So, since he did defeat him, he was able to walk out on his own this time. And he was at this point 20-0. So, since he did defeat him, they had an iconic moment where they all was at the front of the match. They all walked out. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Undertaker called the end of an era. They all hugged each other. Now, that was unscripted. They knew at that point in their careers, Shawn Michaels already retired. Triple H and Undertaker, both part-timers, only wrestling certain times of the year. They just had a hug because they knew that was pretty much it. They knew that they weren't going to have many more times in the ring with each other, whether they was wrestling with each other or wrestling against each other. Very iconic moment. After that feud was over with Undertaker, Triple H entered a feud with Brock Lesnar. At this point, Brock Lesnar, he returned the night after WrestleMania. He F5 John Cena. First time he came back to WWE in 8 years. But Brock Lesnar was bullying John Laurinaitis to get a contract specialized for him. Triple H came out on one Raw. He said, "This is not how it's going to go down. You're going to go to the regular agreement of what it was signed to." Brock Lesnar wasn't pleased with that. He attacked Triple H and broke his arm. Triple H was out. Now, when Triple H did return, he won a match against Brock Lesnar in revenge of him breaking his arm. And they were scheduled to have a match at SummerSlam. Now, there was a lot of back and forth of Brock Lesnar ain't not going to do this, he's not going to do that with Paul Heyman. Now, the 1000th episode of Raw in July, 23rd edition of Raw, he agreed to do the match. Came out, they had a back and forth, him and Triple H attacking each other. He was going to do the match for SummerSlam. At the SummerSlam pay-per-view, Brock Lesnar defeated Triple H. He made him tap out to a Kimura lock and broke his arm again. So they played the storyline that Triple H was going to retire at the time, that this is it for him. You know, he cut a promo afterwards saying, "I don't know, I don't wrestle much anymore." And he wasn't around for a while. Now, he did have a rematch against Brock Lesnar at the following year, WrestleMania, which was WrestleMania 29. But Shawn Michaels was going to be in the corner of Triple H this time. And Triple H, at this point, this is when he had cut his famous long hair off. He cut his hair at near the end of 2012 because he came out to the Slammy Awards that year. That's the first time we saw him on TV with his buzz cut. So at this point, he looked different. He had the buzz cut, and he looked more similar to the COO role. He looked more in the corporate role. It played perfectly into what he's doing. He didn't look like the wrestler anymore. He looked more of the COO role. So they had the match at WrestleMania. This time, not only was Shawn Michaels in his corner, Triple H's career would be on the line against Brock Lesnar. Triple H, this time, was the victor. He defeated Brock Lesnar after he pedigreed him on steel steps in the ring. However, they had another match, which was at the pay-per-view Extreme Rules, which was the following month, in a steel cage match. Brock Lesnar won that match after F5, 1, 2, 3. And he defeated Triple H. Now, at this point afterwards, Triple H, he was still CEO. He's still, like I said, part-time wrestler. He was later on, a few more months, going to turn heel. And that would be at the SummerSlam pay-per-view against the whole Daniel Bryan, John Cena match where he was special guest referee. But at this period of time, this is where he was the COO title from 2011 to 2013. Now, after he turned heel, he became a party authority, which mirrored the corporation. They tried not to play off like corporation. That's what I thought it was. But this was the whole character of when Triple H was starting to be in the part-time role and still COO role.